ads. Now, the problem with those ads is that they make it so easy, right? Facebook makes it so easy for people to just tap a button, click a button, and a little form will pop up, and it's even pre-filled up with their Facebook information.
Marketing and advertising can be complicated. What's most important?
What should I focus on?
Direct marketing?
Email campaigns?
Social media?
Cold calling?
With Marketing Atlas, you'll have a clear guide to get more leads, close more sales, and take your business to the next level. Welcome to Marketing Atlas.
Marketing Atlas.
With your host, Hernan Vasquez.
Here's why your lead quality might be low, and here's how to fix it. That's what we're going to be talking about today, is why your lead quality is low and how to fix it. So if you're getting leads, but those leads are either not showing up to the calls, they're not buying your stuff, or they're not opening your emails, or sometimes they don't even recognize having, leave you their details for you to contact them, this video is for you. This content is going to be specifically for those people that are already getting leads, but they're not getting the amount of sales that they want. Now, that is something that happens quite often when it comes to advertising, especially if you're advertising in places like Facebook or YouTube. And the reason why that happens is because entrepreneurs, business owners, some agencies, they're focusing on how many leads they're giving to their customers or to their clients, or how many leads they're getting through their advertising. And leads, they're great, but you cannot go out there and deposit those leads in the bank, right? So what you want to do is you want to turn those leads into actual customers. So let me tell you a little bit about how we mitigate this, how we increase the lead quality, number one. And also number two, how you can do the same. All right. So before I go into that, I was talking the other day with a potential prospect for the agency, for my business, ScaleDriven.com. And he came to us because he wanted to scale, right? At ScaleDriven.com, that's what we do. We give you a full marketing team so that you can scale your business, basically, through better copywriting, through better advertising, through better follow-up and better conversions. That's what we do at ScaleDriven.com. So this potential client came to me because he was like, hey, dude, listen, we're struggling. Now, before he told me that, I went into his metrics, and his metrics, they look pretty good, at least on paper, right? On paper, they look pretty good. They were getting a ton of leads. Like, we're talking about hundreds upon hundreds of leads every single day. They built a 10, 15 plus people team. They were calling all of those leads, and they were also selling a product that was expensive, and they had payment plans. And most people will take the payment plans. So he came to me because he was going through all of these leads that were coming through their advertising. He was running Facebook ads. He was running a really specific type of Facebook ad objective, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And he came to me, and again, the volume was great. The cost per lead was great based on what he was targeting, but he wasn't converting those leads into customers. The problem that he had, he told me, hey, listen, dude, we're struggling. Like, we're getting all of these leads. My team is calling them all. A lot of them, they're trash leads. A lot of them, they don't have any money. A lot of them, they don't even remember having opted in for our stuff. And when, after a lot of, burning through those leads, after a lot of burning, after a lot of sifting, even when we close a client, when we get a new client on board, they choose the payment plan, they don't have any money, and after a couple of payments, they just drop off. So what do we do, right? So that was his question. He wasn't that much interested about having leads, but he was interested about increasing the quality of those leads. So there's always the way I like to see this is that there's this bar or this knob that you can move, right? And there's this spectrum between a lot of quantity and a lot of quality. So for instance, if you offer a service or a product that is tailored to, let's say, top Inc. 5000, top level executives, C-suite executives of the Inc. 5000 companies list, then you will be on this side of the spectrum. You will be, there's not a lot of quantity there, but there's a high level of quality, right? Conversely, if you sell lottery tickets, you won't have a lot of quality, but you will have a lot of quantity. So first off, you need to understand where in the spectrum are you, right? Do you want quantity? Do you want quality? There's some companies that thrive on quality. They only need to close a couple deals per month or per year, right? And there's some other companies that they do need a decent amount of quantity, right? So the first thing that you need to kind of position yourself is, where in the spectrum am I, right? How many deals I want to close per month? And what's the quality that I want to get from the leads that I'm getting? Because based on the quality, two things will stem out of that decision that you make. The first one is your targeting on the ads. The more targeted your ads are, the less quantity there is for instance, Facebook to target, right? So that's why when people go super crazy on targeting, they target this and then they layer with this and this and this, they end up paying a premium because you end up constricting a little bit the algorithm. And that's not bad or good. It's just not the way I like to do it. But you end up paying a premium because you're telling Facebook, hey, Facebook, follow, just focus on this quality of people. So that's number one. The first thing that will stem out of your decision is your targeting. The second thing that will stem out of your decision is how many hoops they need to jump through before they become a client. The more quality you need from a lead, the more they need to self-qualify themselves before they are even a good fit, right? So the more they need to self-qualify, the more they need to work to get to you, the higher the quality of the lead. But of course, the less quantity there is, right? This reminds me, for instance, of Dan Kennedy's application process. It's like super cumbersome, and it's super cumbersome for a reason, because the way he says it is that as an entrepreneur, as a consultant, as an expert, you're heavily outnumbered, right? You're heavily outnumbered, and you will never be able to reach the entire market with your services, especially if you're just a one-man show or you're the expert, right? The point that I'm trying to make here is that, first off, you need to position yourself and make a decision based on, do I need a lot of leads or do I need just a handful of leads that are super high qualified? The problem with this potential client that we were talking to was that he was positioned on the wrong side of the spectrum. He was getting a lot of leads, but the quality wasn't there. So what we do at ScaleDriven.com, we sat down and I told him flat out, we can help you move that knob, if you would, towards the quality side of things. Now, the amount of leads, the number of leads that you're getting every single day will go down. And guess what? Your cost per lead will go up, but that's fine, right? Cost per lead is just an optimization metric. In fact, you shouldn't be worrying about cost per lead at all. You should be worrying about cost per sale. You should be worrying about cost per book call. Those are the metrics that you want to change. So I told him, we can definitely help you. And there's a couple things that we can do to actually help you increase that lead quality that you're getting. The first one is to educate the lead before they even land into your funnel. All right. I've talked about that a lot. I had another video or another episode talking about how we generated over 22,000 qualified leads with content, which is something that you can go watch or go listen, depending on what you're doing with this content. But that's the first thing. Educate the prospect before they even hit your funnel. Okay, educate the prospect before they even hit your funnel. The reason why you want to do this is because otherwise you will be targeting cold people, and Facebook has a lot of cold people out there that do not know who you are. They haven't heard about you, okay? So the first thing is educate before they hit your funnel. The second thing is, of course, pick the right audiences. We use something, especially if we're working with B2B, business-to-business companies, which are most of our customers are B2B. We target B2B prospects on social media, which a lot of people tell you can't be done, but it can be done. And what we use is something called third-party data. Third-party data is data that comes from Equifax, TransUnion, MasterCard, Visa, the big credit report agencies in the States. And since we move a lot of volume on advertising every single month, we have access to these audiences that are not readily available for you to target on Facebook. You need to get access to these audiences, but that allows you to target better audiences that are, again, not readily available on Facebook. So for instance, we can target chiropractors, not based on people that say that they like chiropractic or chiropractors, but rather people that have chiropractor on their title and they got a license. So we can target them on Facebook. So third-party data basically allows us to have LinkedIn targeting capabilities within Facebook, which is something that I really enjoy doing. So number one, educate people before they hit your funnel. Number two, choose better audiences. Now, when you choose better and more targeted audiences, guess what? You're also paying a premium, and that's fine, right? That is completely fine. You're willing to pay a premium because cost per lead doesn't really matter. What matters is that you increase the quality. And number three, which I think is really important as well, is make people do some work before you reach out to them. Make people qualify, make people do a little bit of a homework, make people, fill up a form at least. The problem with the ads that they were running lead generation ads. And I love lead generation ads to kickstart a campaign, for instance. Now, the problem with those ads is that they make it so easy, right? Facebook makes it so easy for people to just tap a button, click a button, and a little form will pop up. And it's even pre-filled up with their Facebook information, right? So a lot of people were arguing that they didn't fill up anything. And the reason behind it is because they were running super broad targeting with lead generation ads. The cost per lead was beautiful, but the quality wasn't there. So we developed a plan for them, and we developed a plan for them on the call, like how they could do that. That's something that we do on a call. It's like give you actual insight because we want to deliver as much value as possible. Whether you become a client or not, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we help you as much as possible right off the bat. So we developed a plan for him and in order for him to increase the lead quality. So again, if you're struggling with lead quality, it might be that you're targeting cold audiences, which again, it could work, but you need to be aware of that. So education before they hit your funnel goes a long way. It can be videos, it can be audios, it can be blog posts, it can be whatever. Number one. Number two, better targeting. Better targeting helps a lot if you are going too broad, which usually going broad on Facebook is a good thing. But in this case, it wasn't that much of a good thing because quantity was there, but quality wasn't. So we need to tweak the targeting. And number two, make them do some work before they even talk to you or your team. That will decrease the amount of leads that you're getting. It will increase your cost per lead at the same amount of ad spend. It will increase the cost per lead. But it will give your sales team also a better experience talking to these guys because they won't have to call 500 people to just get a couple of leads on the phone, right? So those are just a couple of things that we do. We also offer follow-up sequences, to make them actually to show up to the calls, reminder sequences, and that's all the type of stuff that we do at ScaleDriven.com. So if this resonates with you in any way, shape, or form, and you want us to help you developing something like this, go to ScaleDriven.com. There's a message there specifically tailored for business owners that want to scale, whether it is through advertising or through our entire marketing team. Go to ScaleDriven.com. You will see a message there. And if this sounds good, schedule a call with my team. There's no cost for the call. It's free, and you will get a lot of value out of that call. And in that call, we'll tell you, hey, we're a good fit. If we're not a good fit, we'll tell you as well. And if we are a good fit, we'll also tell you how we work. But in any case, I would say 99% of people that hop on a call with us, they do end up getting a lot of value, whether they decide to become a client or not. All right. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Feel free to DM me. Feel free to drop a comment somewhere. Just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out with your questions. And I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, again, comment, share this if this is helpful with somebody that needs to see this. I'll see you guys really, really soon. Bye-bye.